Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the latest on the Nygaard bacon controversy.
Hear what's happening with the Baha Mar property in Cable Beach.
Also tonight, the fate of a man accused of breaking into a home and tickling a woman. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good Tuesday evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings.
I'm Kish Latterly. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
We have more tonight on the ongoing saga and the controversy involving Lyford Key millionaire Peter Nygaard and his neighbor billionaire Louis Bacon. The latest twist to this saga is an affidavit and supporting statements filed by Nygaard in the Supreme Court yesterday.
Now, ZNS News got copies of the documents from members of Nygaard's public relations and legal teams. The documents seek to show that Bacon and a prominent figure were allegedly involved in a plot. The affidavit filed by Nygaard is of Carlos Mackey and sworn statements by Whistler Bobo de Vilma and Livingston Togi Bullard, the two men who previously accused Nygaard of being involved in the plot.
Well, the affidavit and statements we have reviewed called a number of other prominent names as having been involved. According to them, the two have reportedly said that some $50,000 in cash was given to them in a Scotiabank envelope at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel during their meeting as an initial payment.
Now, the same affidavit says Nygaard's lawyers now know that de Vilma and Bullard were paid $3 million and could have been paid as much as $5 million for their initial false claims. ZNS News is continuing to review the documents and will have a full report for you when that review is complete. Now, last night on ZNS News, we said that Reverend C.B. Moss was a member of the Save the Bays organization and that he plans to file a writ in court in relation to the Nygaard saga. Well, ZNS News apologizes and notes that Reverend Moss is the chairman of the Coalition to Save Clifton and not a member of Save the Bays. But as we make this apology, we can tell you, according to the Save the Bays website, in an article dated the 13th of November 2013, the Coalition to Save Clifton issued an appeal for financial support, and Save the Bays answered that appeal. Reverend Moss is quoted as saying, "We are delighted that they did so and appeal to others to follow their lead." It further states that we hope that in the not too distant future, the organizations who are pursuing the same goal along parallel lines will work together. It went on to say, in the meantime, the Coalition will take under consideration a more formal arrangement, but for the time being, we're pleased just to know that the Save the Bays, which has provided support for others, finds the Coalition to Save Clifton worthy of its support.
In other news this Tuesday, an international realtor based in Canada has been hired to advertise the Baha Mar property. The property in Cable Beach, which went into receivership last year, is now being promoted, though no information on its valuation has been released. Receiver Raymond Winder told ZNS News today putting the property on the market is fulfillment of an agreement with the courts.
Every company that have expressed an interest, which include the previous owner, Mr. Sarkis himself, I am sure his team will look at it, and the possibility exists that they too would put forward an offer. So we want to give him and everyone an opportunity to make a potential bid, and we want to be fair to everyone.
Amidst the sale offer, Winder says a decision is still being made about how to proceed with construction.
Some of the buyers have told us that they have the capacity to complete the project. In other words, they have the team itself, so they wouldn't need contractors that were identified by the receivers.
Some people have already bitten?
No, but people who have visited us. We've been talking to investors for quite some time now. From the time I was appointed, we've been talking and meeting with investors who have expressed interest. However, in order to give everyone an opportunity and an even playing field, we have what we said, put together a database room where we have placed all of the relevant information that a potential bidder may need. And so we have not made that available to anyone, and we're going to give everyone access to it at the same time.
As the government works to put in the framework in place for the implementation of the next phase of national health insurance, the nation's leader continues to meet on a regular basis with ordinary Bahamians whose dependence on this new social program could be the difference between life and death.
Now in this report, Clint Watson tells us why Prime Minister Christie says the country can no longer turn a blind eye to those in need.
Their story is a reality of what so many Bahamians are facing every day. Little to no income and mounting medical bills. But with no way of affording the necessary health care, life each day has become a gamble. Meet Edna Johnson. She's been diagnosed with cancer. The retiree worked for many years at a popular restaurant.
I need the radiation, the $3,000 for the radiation. That's yes.
You don't have that money.
No, I don't. I do not have the money.
And that's something that you need in order to complete your
My treatment. My treatment, yes. I was supposed to go to Dr. Francis from December of the 1st of January, but I wasn't able to go because I didn't have the money.
But her story doesn't end there. She has 3 grandchildren. 2 of them must receive medical care for their serious illnesses. None have insurance.
This one 5. He can't do nothing for himself. This one is 7. That's all he does. Nothing.
Because he has what
he has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. And I deal with him. I deal with both of them. And God gave me the strength that I to deal with them. You understand? That's all I'm living for them. For them, they first.
The boy's mother, Sharika Johnson, claims she has tried to get assistance from the Department of Social Services, but hasn't been successful. She would like to put them in a special school to help better the boys with some form of education.
This is really a strain, and it's only me one, and I'll have to stop working if I have to stay home with them.
Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie happened to be visiting residents in his constituency when he was drawn to this home. He says this is exactly why national health insurance is needed.
We have to see how we could, through the government, assist her. But this is the challenge we have for people who are uninsured and where there is no idea of challenges people face. It's just an incredible, bewildering kind of experience for them. And you try to render personal assistance, but you know this is where the state and the absence of a policy that is geared to take care of them must intervene and must help. And so this is very important here. And so just so many Bahamians are faced with this, Clint, and we don't know, and it's so important that we do know. And public policy is informed so we could even be more resolute in our commitment to help these people who are desperately in need of help.
Mr. Christie says in matters like this, families cannot wait for NHI to help.
We have always argued that we have a policy that when we find situations like this, we just make a decision that we have to offer help. And we have to be able to give meaningful help. And this is going to happen in this case as well, until such time as they are properly insured and we have a program of health insurance that is able to meet their requirements.
And Prime Minister Christie says it's those kinds of stories that we've just heard that make this NHI such a vital and important tool for Bahamians. He says there are many other stories like it, and there must be intervention soon. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Clint. Some major news for the healthcare sector in Grand Bahama, all in preparation for the continued rollout of national health insurance. Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Perry Gomez, told House members last night that a new healthcare facility is being proposed for Grand Bahama, which will service the northern Bahamas.
The government has agreed to the first phase of the redevelopment of the hospital with the construction of the most modern and much-needed primary health care clinic for the Freeport area on a 50-acre site of land located on the western side of Sunrise Highway in Grand Bahama. Mr. Speaker, I have no doubt that the Minister for Grand Bahama will share much pride and significant accomplishment when he having made his contribution on this subject. Additional capital works planned include construction of an 8-bedded private ward, 2 4-bedded public wards, on-call facilities for our doctors, a mall to connect the existing Rand Hospital to a new kitchen and cafeteria. It is anticipated that these works will be completed within 8 months of the contract signing.
In other news tonight, in a letter to the editor titled A Mother's Anger, Sharon Adderley took issue with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and its assistance to her son who was being held in custody in Haiti. Christopher Adderley was a pilot who reportedly went to Haiti to pick up a colleague when they were detained back in 2014. The mother says he was sick and needed medication for blood clots, but he didn't receive the necessary medical care and died in custody. The mother also claims that Haitian officials made bribe requests, which she says were passed through Foreign Affairs. In setting the record straight, Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says there is a paper trail of all communications between his office and the Adderley family, and he responded to each request. He also cleared the air with regards to those bribe allegations.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the officer who dealt with this matter, including the ambassador and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force officer, have all provided reports with regard to this matter. They know nothing of passing any bribes to Haitian officials. All the receipts which I have here and I brought here and I intend to lay them over show that there were funds transmitted to pay lawyers in Haiti. That's it. The lawyers came, they signed for it, it's all there, it's all receipted. The other receipts show that monies were spent for their personal effects, sometimes buying food. People think that that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has the responsibility when it offers consular services, has the responsibility to find a lawyer, pay the lawyer, hold your hand, all sorts of things. What the ministry has a responsibility to do is to make sure that, to the extent that they can, to work with the officials, that your family is in touch with you, that you're not abused as far as we can tell, and that you are not left alone, so to speak. The record will show what efforts were taken on the part of the mission in Haiti to deal with this matter.
Now, Mitchell also noted that the other man being held in Haiti along with Adderley shared a different story.
I'm saying the co-defendant disagrees with that version of the facts. And the unfortunate thing about this now is, having put this in the public domain, are they also saying that the other man was involved in passing bribes to Bahamian officials? One has to be really careful about the things you assert and say. Really